Today, we're going to get into a powerful metaphor, one that explains a very common, very quiet way we sometimes sabotage ourselves.
I mean, really think about it for a second. Have you ever been stuck somewhere, knowing deep down that it was just draining the life out of you, but you just stayed? It's a feeling we've all had, and today we're going to unpack exactly why that happens.
You know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's that job that pays the bills, sure, but leaves you feeling hollowed out every single day. Or that relationship where all the tiny compromises and little arguments have just slowly chipped away at who you are. It might even be a lifestyle, a set of habits that you know is dimming your light, but man, you just can't seem to break free. So what is going on? Why do we put up with this slow suffering?
Well, there's this fantastic story, a parable really, that just hits the nail on the head. It's often called the frog syndrome, and it perfectly illustrates this whole pattern.
Okay, so the story goes like this. If you drop a frog into a pot of boiling water, what does it do? It jumps out immediately. But, and here's the crazy part, if you put that same frog in a pot of lukewarm water and then slowly, gradually turn up the heat, the frog just adjusts. It gets used to the rising temperature, maybe even finds it kind of comfortable, until the water hits boiling and it's just too late to get out.
Now let's pull this story out of the kitchen and into our own lives, because this is where it gets really real. We can actually see how this whole thing plays out in our everyday patterns. In our world, the water isn't water. It's our comfort zone. It's our routines, the job we know, the relationship that feels familiar. Our brains are hardwired to love what's predictable. And the heat? Well, that's the slow, sneaky pressure of compromise. It's the unmet needs, the little things we let slide, day after day after day. So how do we handle it as the temperature ticks up? We rationalize. We tell ourselves things like, it's just a rough patch at work, or, this is just being an adult. We do this to quiet that nagging voice that knows something is wrong. We keep telling ourselves we'll deal with it later. But later just never seems to show up, does it? And this is the most dangerous part. It's something called creeping normality. The change happens so gradually that our entire baseline for what's okay just shifts. We actually adapt to the stress, to the unhappiness, to the boredom, until we literally forget what real peace or genuine joy even feels like.
So it's so important to recognize what we're actually losing here. We're not just tolerating a bad situation, we are actively trading away pieces of ourselves. We put our dreams on the back burner, we quiet our creative instincts, and we stay put because we've already invested so much time and energy. Leaving feels like a failure, and that feeling is a trap that keeps us trading real happiness for the illusion of safety.
And all of this, it builds to a single moment. One day, you wake up and you just feel exhausted, anxious, completely empty. And you realize you don't have the energy left to make a change. The water has gotten too hot and you feel too weak, too numb to even imagine leaping out. Okay, I know, that sounds incredibly bleak. But this is where the story takes a sharp, powerful turn. Because while that parable is a perfect warning, the comparison between us and that frog, it ends right here.
This is the single most important thing to get. You are not a frog. You have abilities that frog in the pot could never, ever dream of. See, unlike the frog, we have two incredible superpowers. First, we have awareness. We have this amazing ability to step back, look at our own lives, and realize, hey, the water is getting warmer. And second, we have choice. At any moment, we can decide to act. We can choose to change our circumstances. So the big question is, how do we actually use that awareness and that choice? How do we take that courageous leap and get our power back before the water starts to boil? Well, let's break it down into a simple 3-step framework. First, it all starts with awareness. That means paying attention not just to what's happening around you, but more importantly to what's changing inside you. Then comes reflection. You have to be brave enough to ask yourself the really hard questions. And finally, action. Armed with that awareness, you take the leap, even if you're scared, even if it's messy. To help you with that reflection piece, here's the first huge question you can ask yourself right now. Look at your job, your relationship, your daily habits, and ask, is this situation making my world bigger and richer? Is it helping me grow? Or is it slowly making me smaller? And here's the second question. And this one gets right back to that frog parable. Is the warmth you feel in your current situation genuine comfort and safety? Or is it the kind of warmth that is slowly, quietly starting to burn you?
The ultimate message here is to be proactive. It's a call to action to not wait for the crisis. Don't wait for the burnout, the breakup, or the breakdown to force your hand. You have the power to feel the water getting warmer long before it ever becomes dangerous.
And that brings us to one last crucial idea about what courage really is. We tend to think of it as some big dramatic act, jumping out of a fire. But maybe true courage is quieter than that. Maybe real courage is just the simple act of awareness, of noticing that first subtle shift in temperature and choosing to do something about it right then and there.